Thank you, sir, Dr. Harsh. I'll be giving a brief overview of the problem associated with trabeculectomy. This is one of the first cases. This is a Dellen associated with a trabeculectomy. The trabeculectomy has been performed as a re-surgery and the location is at the temporal limbus. So this is the patient who came with a very resistant Dellen formation, and what we are trying to do is to excise the high amount of the bleb and try to cover the conjunctival epithelium over the area of the Dellen. This is a very important thing to understand, that whenever you're doing a re-trabeculectomy surgery, you should never post the surgery at the temporal limbus, because that is an area which is exposed, that does not get resurfaced by the tear film, and you can get a very bad Dellen formation which is not going to heal with any topical therapy with artificial tears or any other medical therapy. So you have to excise the bleb and resurface the conjunctiva over the area of the Dellen to plug the defect, otherwise the patient can have a perforation and it can be a side-threatening complication. So this is something which you may get, especially if you have the localization of the trabeculectomy in an exposed part of the palpebral conjunctiva. So the conjunctiva has been resurfaced over the Dellen, and now you get a regular epithelial surface. We are trying to put some additional sutures so that conjunctiva does not fall back. The only side effect is that you can get some astigmatism because of the nature of the suturing in the cornea, but because the integrity of the eye is predominant, you have to do this sight-saving surgery. The other issue is with mitomycin C application, especially in patients with juvenile glaucoma. You can get this very large overhanging bleb, and short of excision, this is a technique of compression suturing. You can use 7 Vicryl sutures. You take compression sutures from the cornea anterior to the bleb, right posterior to the sclera at the posterior edge of the bleb. The purpose is to apply a mechanical compression on the bleb to decrease the height of the bleb. In addition, the Vicryl induces some inflammation that helps to promote fibrosis and decrease the height of the bleb. Due to these large blebs, there can be ocular surface problems. The patient is very symptomatic, and it's a great cosmetic blemish for the patient. So this is a young patient. So this is a technique I'm using, multiple mosaic of compression sutures vertical, and because of the very large bleb, I'm also applying a mattress of horizontal sutures so that the bleb is completely compressed, and gradually in the post-operative period, these blebs decrease in size and you have a resolution of the symptoms. This is a technique of compression suturing, doesn't require any expertise, no expensive instrumentation. Sometimes late onset mitomycin C complications, you can get these fibrotic blebs overlying the cornea, and it's helpful to do anterior segment imaging in these patients to see what is the area of the functional bleb. Usually this is a necrotic part of the epithelium which is calcified and there is no aqueous drainage. So what I'm doing is I'm applying a suture at the limbus to demarcate the limbus from the bleb over the cornea, and gently you can excise this fibrotic bleb and with a viscodissection lift it off the cornea, and at the guarding suture you then snip off the bleb with Vanna suture, and this take part in the normal drainage process. It is just an overgrowth of epithelium over the cornea, so it easily peels off the cornea. You have to be careful that you should not go into the functional part of the bleb that is bit posteriorly. That is why I have placed this guarding suture at the limbus. So that helps you to demarcate the exact location of where you are going to excise the bleb. The other scenario is, this is a patient who presented with recurrent blebitis. You can see there is a small cystic bleb at the limbus. If you don't have sclera available, this is a Momini's technique. We are trying to raise a scleral flap posterior to the area of the bleb. Now you excise this bleb. The patient had endophthalmitis vitrectomy and was referred to me after that procedure. So you can see there was a full thickness defect in the sclera and there was vitreous herniating through that. Now you just reverse the scleral flap onto the area of the defect at the limbus, and that helps you to close the flap. This technique works if the surrounding sclera is normal and you don't have eye bank sclera available, so you can just make a scleral flap like a trabeculectomy and then reverse it anteriorly over the area of the defect. Now you're trying to close the defect with secure suturing on both sides, followed by the overlay of the conjunctiva. Because of the full thickness defect, there may be hypotony, and that is the advantage of using the AC maintainer. And you can see the conjunctiva has now been overlaid over the defect. So you have a restoration of integrity of both the sclera as well as the conjunctiva over the bleb. This is a very important technique to learn, especially when using mitomycin C. Now, patients of juvenile open-angle glaucoma, they land up with a lot of serious complications many years after surgery. This is a patient of juvenile open-angle glaucoma who presented with hypotony, a very large area of ischemic conjunctiva. That is the cause of overfiltration and leakage. And many of these patients, you have to see, even when you excise the conjunctiva, there will be a full thickness necrotic defect in the sclera. It's useful to do a UBM or a ASOCT to see and plan the surgery beforehand, because if you have a scleral defect, you have to do either a scleral patch graft or the Momini's repair. So in this patient, we are putting a full thickness scleral graft followed by the overlay of the conjunctiva to restore the integrity of the bleb. And finally, sometimes you land up with these cases. This patient was referred to me, one-eyed guy, 16 years old, pressure of 3 millimeters of mercury. Patient had had a previous mitomycin C trabeculectomy. And you can see at the time of dissection what is happening. There is a huge area of a ciliary staphyloma. And you have to be very careful in these patients when you're doing surgery. One-eyed patient, there was an area of a full thickness defect which I am closing with the tenon nylon suture, and then you have to take a very large scleral patch graft to cover the entire area of the staphyloma and apply suturing on both sides as well as over the area of the sclera to decrease the height of the sclera, otherwise it will be like a mound. And this last video, in patients who have hypotony maculopathy, the important issue is that you don't have conjunctiva available because the large area of conjunctival necrosis occurs. So in these patients, like this patient was a young girl with juvenile open-angle glaucoma with hypotony maculopathy, she was losing vision. So what we have tried to do is that in this patient, there are two problems. One is the conjunctival epithelium, which is overdraining. Secondly, there is an underlying necrosis in the sclera. Now, once you have a very large defect in the conjunctiva, if you use direct suturing, you can cause traction and you can cause ptosis to the patient in the post-operative period, and the sutures may give away. So this is a very large area. You can see there is a defect in the sclera. So again, this is a very simple technique. You just raise the scleral flap. I'm closing this the last video. And reverse the scleral flap so that you can close the area of the drainage in the sclera. That will close the defect in the sclera. And after that, because this is a very huge conjunctival defect and other eyes has got normal vision, so you have to harness conjunctival flap. This is a pedicle flap. So you go to the temporal limbus, measure the flap. You leave some amount of limbal epithelial conjunctiva so that the stem cells are not damaged. So you have measured the area of the defect, you raise this pedicle from the temporal conjunctiva and then rotate it onto the area of the defect, followed by a direct suturing and closure. So with this technique, you can restore the integrity of both the conjunctiva as well as the sclera and have a full thickness coverage of the defect in the conjunctival epithelium. Thank you very much for your kind attention.